DreAllDay.com.
Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are talking about a subject that I wish I didn't have to keep talking about, but I'm gonna keep talking about it, and it's understanding the value of investing in yourself. Even while you can find a lot of stuff, obviously there's a lot of stuff that's out there online that you don't have to pay for. All you gotta do is give your time and attention to it. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because even though you can look online and you can see YouTube, podcasts, social media, blogging, whatever stuff that's out there that people like myself and others put out completely for free, understand that, there's a song out there called "There's Levels to This," right? If you want to go to higher levels of the thing that you're doing, you had to put something in to get something out. I mean, everybody understands, in principle, everybody understands the law of karma, right? The law of karma says what? What you put in is what you get out. Like, everybody understands that, and everybody seems to agree with the principle. You ask people, do you agree with the law of karma? Everybody says yeah, right? So when it comes to you taking your business or your career where you want it to go, you have to make investments in yourself. And when I say investing in yourself, let's get specific, because there are 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. I'm talking about money specifically. You got to be willing to put money into your career. If you want to move forward, if you're running a business, there's a certain level of business you can get to by yourself. Me personally, when I first started my business, let's say, officially, when I started making my own stuff, creating my own things and selling them direct to consumer, just me, myself, that was in 2009. I've been selling stuff before that, but making my own stuff and selling it direct to consumer was 2009. And for a good period of time, for the next like 5 years or so, I was just selling my stuff. I made some products, and I basically just did more of the same stuff. I just made more of the same type of products and sold them to more of the same type of people over and over again. And I did that for a good 5 years. At the time, let's be clear, I was also playing basketball professionally. I was also putting videos on YouTube, but I was selling these products. But when I wanted to get to a different level, when I wanted to learn how to sell things that cost more, like higher ticket items, in other words, I wanted to make more money per transaction than what I had been making before. When I wanted to start working with higher level people, in other words, working with people who had bigger problems, thusly they were going to spend more money to solve their problems, I had to go and invest in myself so I could learn how to do that. I had to learn the game. Now, is it possible? Let's just offer a disclaimer to myself. Is it possible I could have figured that game out without getting a coach? Could I have figured that out without having mentors? Could I have figured that out without investing in myself to get to the higher level of game? The answer is yes, I could have figured it out. The thing is, I figured that stuff out so let's just say it was around 2015. I stopped playing basketball 2015. So around the time that I started doing like professional speaking and stuff like that was the next year. Well, actually it was that year, 2015 going into 2016. Had I not had mentors, had I not invested in coaching, had I not invested in myself, would I have figured it out? Yeah, but it probably would have took me till like 2019 to figure it out. It would took me maybe 4 years to figure it out on my own, if that. I'm just assuming I would have figured it out because I think I'm a smart person and I'm a hardworking person. Maybe I would have figured it out on my own had I just kept working at it by myself without any type of investment in me. But because I had the investments made in myself, I was able to figure it out a lot faster. Actually, I didn't have to figure anything out. All I had to do was follow what people who were smarter than me and people who had more experience than me were saying. They told me exactly what I need to do. All right, this is what you need to do. Here's the steps you need to take. Here's the pieces that you have. Here's what you need to do with these pieces that you have. Here's the pieces that you need to go get. Here's the systems and the processes that you need to follow in order to get the outcomes that you want. I had people who were already in the game, who I invested in learning from, who showed me the ropes of the game. And that's how I was able to figure things out faster. So any of you thinks, and there are people who say this, there are people, even people who are in the thought leadership space will say it. Well, a lot of things that you need to know, you can get them online for free. And the answer, and that's true, I'm not questioning that. There are a lot of things that you need to know that you can find online for free. You want to get hyped up and motivated, you can find that pretty much on YouTube. You want to get at least the first level or two of information on how to do anything pretty much when it comes to mindset, business, etc. You can find a lot of that through YouTube, podcasting, blogging, stuff that people post on social media, interviews, etc. You can pretty much find that stuff online. But understand, everybody in the world has access to the internet. Everybody in the, well, not everybody in the world. Everybody in the world who can pull up YouTube, or they got access to the internet. They have access to podcasts. They have access to people's social media, like my stuff and your stuff and whoever else is publishing stuff out there. A whole lot of people in the world have access to all of these materials, right? So if that's all it took to make people successful, here's the question. Let me ask you this question. How many people do you know who are successful? How many successful people do you know? Think of what your definition of the word success is, and then ask yourself, how many people do you know who are successful? Everybody has access to all this information, right? It's all on YouTube, it's all on podcasts, it's all on the internet. If everybody has access to it, and then you look at how many people you know who are successful. Whenever I ask this question in a live stream or something, I say, tell me what percentage of people, just a lot of people you know, what percentage of them are successful? Most people's answer is somewhere between 0 and, at the most, I usually see about 20%. You really think about it. Of all the people you know, meaning if you see them, you know their name and they know your name. How many people are successful? I would say most people are somewhere between 0 and 20%. But everybody has access to all this information. Everybody has YouTube on their phone. Everybody has podcast access. Everybody can get email. Everybody knows how to use Google and search, etc., etc. So what are the people who are playing at a higher level doing that you're not doing? Are they working harder than you? Are they more focused than you? Are they just smarter than you? Do they have more access than you? No, there's none of those things. Now, some of those things may be part of the equation, but those are not the reason why they're at a level that you're not at. The reason they're at the level that you're not at is because they are doing things qualitatively that you're not doing. In other words, the quality of what they do is different than the quality of what you do. Not the quantity, the quality. See, quantity just could be, I say I'm better than you because I work harder than you. Or that's quantity. That's just, I do more work. You work for 10 hours, I work for 12 hours. I just did more than you. That's a quantity difference. Or you're focused, I'm twice as focused. That's a quantity difference. Or you did this for a week straight, I did it for 2 weeks straight. That's a quantity difference. That's not the difference that separates successful people from unsuccessful people, and is not the difference that separates somebody who's at level 3 from someone who's at level 5. That's not the difference. Many of you inaccurately think that that's the difference, that all you need to do to get from the level you're at to the level that you want to get to is just do more of what you're already doing. The truth is, that's not the key. That is not the key. And see, this is the reason why many people don't reach success in life, because you have an inaccurate formula of actually what's going to get you there. You think you just need to keep doing what you're doing and just do it harder and do it more and do it longer, and eventually things are going to work out. Let me ask you a question. Isn't that what your parents did? Isn't that what your brother and sister do? Isn't that what your aunts and uncles did? Isn't that what everybody in your neighborhood is doing? They're just saying, all right, I'm doing this thing. I'm just keep doing more of it and do it harder and longer and stronger, and eventually I'm going to reach success. How's that turn out for them? Look at somebody you know who's a couple generations older than you, like somebody your parents' age or older. So somebody's your parents' age, they're what, 20 years plus older than you? Okay, if you're following the same blueprint as them, here's the question you should ask yourself. Do your parents have the success that you want? If they don't quite have the success that you want in your life, then probably you might want to take some pieces from your parents, as I have and as many have, but you can't follow their formula completely, because if they ain't got the outcomes that you want, then where do you think you headed? If you're going to do the same thing that they're doing. That doesn't make any sense, does it? What are they not doing? So you can take the pieces from them that can work for you, but you also got to ask yourself, well, what pieces do they not have? What things did my parents not do that I need to do? What things did my aunts and uncles, my brothers and sisters, my cousins, the people in my neighborhood, what did they not do that I need to do? I'm not talking about harder, better, faster, stronger. Not quantity, not doing more, but what can you do different? Now, again, don't throw the whole script out the window. If your parents were hard workers and they went to work every day and they were good people and they were positive and they were honest, you should probably copy all that. But there has to be some type of qualitative difference between you and another person if you want to get a different quality of results from them. Now, if you see somebody who has exactly what you want, do exactly what they did. And I guarantee you that type of person has invested in themselves. In other words, and let's be clear what I mean when I say invest in yourself. That means you're going to conferences, you are hiring coaches, you are signing up for courses, you are paying money to get insight and access to information and teaching and knowledge that you otherwise could not get access to. There's a certain level of information that you can get on YouTube and in the podcasting app and on following somebody's Instagram or Facebook page and on social media. There's a certain level of information you can get there. There's another level of information that includes the implementation and the specifics on how it can apply to your situation. You can't get that on the free level. That's the paid level. All right, so why do people go to conferences to hear, why would somebody go to a conference and hear me speak if I got 8,000 videos on YouTube, 2,000 episodes of my podcast, 5,000 articles on my blog, and 10,000 posts on social media? Why go to a conference and hear me speak if I'll talk this much in all these other places? Because there's another level of information. There's another level that people get when they're being coached. There's another level when you get into a course. There's another level when you go to an event. And that's the level that separates the people who get to those other levels of success from the people who stay at the bottom just thinking that they need to work harder, be smarter, bigger, stronger, faster. The quantitative people. So you got to ask yourself, which game are you trying to play? I mean, if you look around at life, because everything I'm saying here is just my perspective and the things that I understand. You might not even understand what I'm talking about, but just look around at life and ask yourself this question. Is it obvious to you that there are some people who are playing a different game than other people? It's not that they're that much smarter. They might work harder, but they ain't working that much harder. How do they have this level and everybody else is at this level? Are they that much better? Are they working that much harder? Are they putting in that much more time? The gap is so wide that you can't just explain it with hard work and effort and focus and discipline. No. Are those part of the equation? Yes. But is that the whole equation? Absolutely not. What separates them is that they're doing things that you ain't doing. They have a mindset and approach that you simply don't have. But the thing is, there are no secrets here. This is an open secret. I'm telling you the game right here. Are you willing to invest in yourself, and how often are you doing it? And what are you doing that's different from the people around you who have a certain level of success, but you want to have more success than them? All right, what are you doing that they ain't doing? If you can't answer the question, well, guess where you're headed? Right to where they are. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with it too. I just want to make sure I'm making this clear so you understand what game you're playing. So with that being said, text me to get my daily motivation text for free straight to your phone every day. My number is 305-384-6894. And go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Get into my Work on Your Game system where you can learn the mindset, strategies, accountability, and execution that help you get to the level that you want to get to. Where I took what I learned as a pro athlete and I translated it to the business world and into everyday life. That's linked or down below in everything that I just said. Work on your game. Dre all day.